because I didn't treat you right. And then you told me that you were proud of me. Oh, God. I'm such a sissy.
No, it's all right. You're doing good. Doing good.
Thank you. So, but you said that you were proud of me. And I was like, what are you proud of me for? And I didn't understand it. So let's go back to that conversation when, I apologized to you and you said you was proud of me. Hey, 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 what's going on, family? This is your Renaissance Belle, Courtney Michelle, digging deeper today. And I am going to do something different. Um, I wanted to talk about single motherhood. And I had this whole spiel about what I was going to say, and I decided not to. I decided to be transparent. And I decided to bring on the man that is the father of my child. His name is Jonathan. Um, he is an amazing man, and we have a story, an interesting story, but something that I cherish. And so I want to bring him on. Um, I think in the shows before, I talked about me wrecking my home. And something that was interesting that before, he told me when I left, he said, hey, you wrecking the home. I didn't understand it then. I do understand it now. And I just want to tell this story because I think it's important to say because I know a lot of people are in my situation. And let's try to grow, be better, and see how we can make it better. So, yeah, Jonathan, you
Hey,
here?
I am here. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here.
Hi. All right. So I don't. I know you know that I do this, and I don't know if you've watched, but you've been a topic of discussion a couple times. Because sometimes people are like, well, who is he? And she's a single mom and she a baby mama. And, so I get that. And um, for me, I don't consider myself a baby mama. It took me a minute to say I'm a single mother because I'm not. I have the best support. You, I have, I mean, you've been there the entire time. So I want to give you a voice because sometimes I think that men like you are silenced and you shouldn't be. So I want to ask you a couple questions. I want you to be honest and let's just see how this rolls.
All right. I'm down.
All right. So in previous shows, I said that I wrecked my home because, I left. And the reason why I left was I was like, we are in a whole toxic relationship. But back then, I didn't take accountability to the fact that I was the toxic one. So I want to know how you felt. How did you how did you feel when I left the home?
Well, I would say, first I would say that you were not the toxic one. Just it takes two people to be in a relationship. And it takes two people to work at it to be in a healthy relationship. So we hear the word unilateral relationship a lot, just kind of meaning one person is working at it more than the other. Um, but I would say that most importantly, I think I was heartbroken because I look at myself as the protector type in a way, and just being that there was a new addition to the family. I still do, but at that time, your duties as a man really sinks in as far as what you're supposed to do now that you have a daughter. Um, so it wasn't just that you left; it was that the two of you left that really, you know,
Mm,
uh, was life changing for me. So for the most part,
yeah. Um, I would say at that stage at the beginning of when I decided to leave, there was a lot of resentment. I know that you had some for me, and rightfully so. Again, like you stated, it wasn't that I left, you know, our child left, and she wasn't in the home, which we were used to 24/7. So there was a lot of resentment, and it took us a while to get over that resentment. And it might still be some there. Um, but what I do want to know is how did we get from there to here?
yeah. And you made a good point about the resentment part, but that kind of fades away over time, when two people just focus on, um, you know, the new addition, the child, the most important. Um, I think that going through what we went through as far as different legality situations and things like that, because the love for you never left. That was always there, always will be there. So actually going through the legality situations was what hurt the most. And
Mhm.
eventually I had to tell myself as a man, hey, um, you know, this is an awesome person, amazing mother of my child. So that's what matters the most to me. You just kind of understand that, hey, at that point in time, we might have just been in two different, parts of our life and what we wanted to do. um, and then you just kind of really just let that kind of fade away and really start to understand that, hey, I still care for this person and what we created, and I want to do all I can to make sure that this person doesn't feel like they're alone in this situation. Because me personally as a man, I knew that I wasn't going anywhere. So it's like, hey, either you know stick around like you want to do and make it work, and or do the opposite. So the opposite wasn't really a choice, so just kind of make it work.
Yeah. Well, I would say this, man, there is a lot of regret that I have. Um,
I would say that not just you with that has regret in this situation. Regret looks different, depends on who it's coming from. um the biggest thing is now, some odd years later, we know hindsight vision is 2020. We both look
mhm,
back, and ultimately, when two people create something new, you got two people that don't have children, then you create something together. um that means a
You're
lot.
such a
So,
beauty.
you know
I knew I was going to do this, Jonathan.
yeah, you don't want me to do it,
A
no, just
sissy. I'm a whole emotional little lady. But regardless of that, um, the one thing that I knew was I never have, even when we were fighting back and forth, our daughter was number one priority.
yeah,
And I never did anything for her not to be with you. And
I would agree.
that I would never do that. Like, she's a whole daddy's girl. You spoil her to death, to the point where I'd be having to call you, be like, stop. I'm actually telling, stop.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you do. And she's a big daddy's girl. And It's interesting because we're not in the same household, but how we parent her, it is kind of like we are. Like when you have her half the week, I have her half the week. But even when you don't have her, you guys are FaceTiming, talking throughout the entire day. When
Mhm.
she get in trouble, I'm like, I'm calling your dad. She be like, don't. I be like, Jonathan. And I think it's like kind of vice versa. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do. And then you did mention she's a daddy's girl, but and I would say honestly that's what helped out a lot. Of course, boy or girl, you want to be there for your child, but the fact that my firstborn was a girl, me setting that example as a man and as her dad, really means a lot to me. um, so that's it was really impactful as far as me maturing and adapting to a new lifestyle and everything, and just try all efforts to make it work, most importantly.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would definitely agree.
she's a daddy's girl. Well, let me ask you a question. And this is about a conversation that we had, say, a little bit over a year ago,
Hmm.
where we were on the phone and like the big baby I am was crying. Um, but it was a conversation where I apologized to you. Do you remember this conversation?
I do.
So I apologized to you because I didn't treat you right. And then you told me that you were proud of me. Oh, God. I'm such a sissy.
Nah, it's all right. You're doing good. Doing good.
Thank you. So, but you said that you were proud of me. And I was like, what are you proud of me for? And I didn't understand it. So let's go back to that conversation when, I apologized to you and you said you was proud of me. Why were you proud of me?
Well, I was proud of you then at that moment, the same way I'm proud of you today. And the reason behind that is, like I said, at that time when we were together, we might not have been on the same accord as far as what we wanted in life at that time. Um, you know, you took that route that you took, and you really did something with it. You're a homeowner. You're an amazing mom. You know, super supportive and protective of our child, and you're everything that I would want the mother of my child to be. Um, so even though, like you said, it was a year ago, and it's still a few years after we had broken up, and just what you did with that time frame was remarkable to me. And I tell you, to this day, like I told you then, I look up to you, and that helps a lot too. Um, with dealing with the past and hurtful situations and things. But you take those lemons and you turn it into lemonade, which is what I think we did and what I think you did. So you are a shining example of Zoe for Zoe to look up to. So that's what I appreciate the most. So that's what I'm proud of.